Harvey Milk Part 2. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Parties mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. Harvey rallied the community and stood up to bullies. In 1973, two gay men wanted to open an antique store, but their business license was shut down by the help of the Eureka Valley Merchants Association. In response, Harvey and other small businesses founded the Castro Village Association and named Harvey the president. The widely known Coors Beer Company started engaging in racist and homophobic hiring practices, so he talked the LGBTQ+ bars out of serving Coors products to their customers. In March of 1973, Harvey and Scott used up their savings to open a film store they named Castro Camera. Harvey organized the first Castro Street Fair to boost small businesses, and within 3 years, the fair attracted over 100,000 people to the neighborhood. Today, the Castro is one of the world's most colorful, vibrant, safe haven of neighborhoods. In 1975, George Moscone was elected mayor of San Francisco. George Moscone was heavily involved in repealing the sodomy laws against members of the LGBTQ+ community with the California State Legislature. That same year, on September 22nd, President Ford visited San Francisco. While on his way to his car from his hotel he was staying at, a woman named Sarah Jane Moore tried to unalive him. She had a gun and she raised to shoot the president. As she did so, a former Marine by the name of Billy Sipple grabbed her by the arm and the bullet hit the pavement. And Billy Sipple saved President Ford's life. This was the same Billy that prompted Harvey's ex Joe Campbell's psychiatric hospital stay. Billy was inadvertently outed by the media, causing his rather conservative Baptist family to shun him. President Ford only sent Billy a thank you note. This caused me, Harvey, and many others to wonder, had Billy been a straight man, instead of a thank you note, would an invitation to the White House been issued instead? In 1977, Anita Bryant was the face of an anti-gay activist and the anti-gay activists behind the Save Our Children campaign. This strongly influenced Prop 6, a proposed state law that would require mandatory firing of openly gay public school employees, based on conservative Christian beliefs that sinfulness and homosexuality threatens the recruitment of children and child molestation. Thankfully, this was rejected in 1978. Although I have to say that this is not worse than Trump's recent executive order denying the existence of transgender people. Anita Bryant was also the promoter for an orange juice company. And in resistance to her homophobic anti-gay campaign, the LGBTQ+ community rallied together and boycotted orange juice. There's a joke made at gay bars, at least back in the day, where they used to give you a hard time for ordering a screwdriver. In 1977, Harvey finally won his campaign election for a seat at the table with the San Francisco City Board of Supervisors. Harvey Milk was sworn in along with other pathway makers. This year was a lot of first of many for San Francisco and America as a whole. Carol Ruth was the city's first single mother elected. She was also a freedom rider. Gordon Lau was the first Chinese American man elected to the board. Ella Hill Hutch was the first African American woman elected to the board. Only a few months before his assassination, Harvey lost his then partner Jack Lira to suicide. On November 27, 1978, San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Harvey were assassinated by Dan White. This guy. Daniel James White was a former police officer and firefighter. 10 months after being sworn in on November 10th of 1978, he resigned from his position on the Board of Supervisors. He cited that his $9,600 salary was not enough to support his family. Today, that money would be equivalent to $46,281. 5 days later, he has a change of heart and asks Mayor Moscone for his job back. At first, the mayor agreed, but soon after that, while getting the paperwork ready, the city attorney advised that Dan could not do that. His resignation was final, could not be rescinded, and it could not be reinstated. The city attorney further advised the mayor that he would have to reappoint Dan or find a replacement. Mayor Moscone had planned to announce Dan's replacement on November 27, 1978. A local radio reporter somehow got a hold of this information and told Dan about it. About a half an hour before the press conference, Dan brings in his .38 caliber gun with him to City Hall. To avoid metal detectors from going off at the normal entrance, he sneaks through the basement window. He goes to Mayor Moscone's office and shoots him in the shoulder, chest, and twice in the head. After this, Dan goes to Harvey's office and shoots him 5 times, twice in the head as well. Diane Feinstein hears the gunshots, finds Harvey on the floor, and calls the police. Soon afterward, she addressed the public in front of City Hall saying, "Today, San Francisco has experienced a double tragedy of immense proportions. As president of the Board of Supervisors, it is my duty to inform you that both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed, and the suspect is Supervisor Dan White." Harvey Milk was 48 years old. George Moscone was 49 years old. Within the hour, Dan calls his wife, meets her at a church, and turns himself in to police. As a former police officer, Dan receives princess treatment in jail. Many of his former colleagues wore Free Dan White shirts after the murder. At his trial is where the Twinkie defense comes from. Dan's defense attorneys argued that he was in a diminished capacity. The super healthy, organic, carob-consuming Dan White was not himself. He was in the midst of a downward spiral, not exercising and eating healthy like he normally did, most recently consuming junk food like soda, chips, and Twinkies that caused him to become depressed.